SolidWorks CAD Modeling, Lecture 2, Sketches, Part 2. Open a sketch. And in Part 1 we talk about lines, parallelogram, and also rectangles, and slots, circles, arcs. And now we are going to talk about splines. For the first type of spline, we drag and drop spline points, escape. The second type is the style spline, drag and drop control points instead of spline points. And you can place dimensions for the points, or you can manipulate with the tangent vectors, the weight of the tangent, the direction of the tangent. You can manipulate with the points. You can also add points, insert spline points to it. For example, 1, 2, escape. So you can also manipulate the tangents for the weight of the tangent and also the direction of the tangent. For the spline, you can manipulate with a spline point, and for the style spline, you manipulate with the control points. For example, you can manipulate with a control point to control the shape of the spline, the style spline. So these are for splines. And then for ellipse, you draw the long axis first and short axis. And there are also partial ellipse, long axis, short axis, starting point, end point. Again, partial ellipse, long axis, partial ellipse, long axis, short axis, starting point, ending point. So these are for ellipse and partial ellipse. Then we'll talk about parabola. Parabola, poles, top point, starting point, end point, poles, top point, starting point, end point. So these are parabola. For conics, starting point, end point, poles, top point. Again, for conics, starting point. For conics, starting point, end point, poles, top points. So this is how you draw ellipse and parabola and also conics curve. Now we'll talk about polygons. For 5-sided polygons, we can draw polygon, pentagon, and we can also draw lines to connect the points on the pentagon. And we'll talk about scissors. You can cut. For the last option here, you can cut whatever elements using your mouse click. And for the first option, you can drag through the sketch, and whatever element you touch, you can cut the elements. So these are the two options that I suggest. The last option is you can click on the line elements so you can cut, and the first is you can drag through the line element to cut. So this is how you draw a star. Okay. So we have talked about polygons and scissors. Also, you can add points to a sketch wherever you want it to be. These are points. And you can also type alphabets. For example, we can type ABC, and we can place it on a certain place using font size 100 point. So you can type the letters. You can also manipulate with the width of the letters or the space between letters. So this is part 2 of lecture 2, the sketches.